friends, my name is Banthiya and you are watching Banthiya's Training and Consultancy. Today we are going to practice the chapter of error spotting. In my observation, I have seen many students not practicing but just mugging up grammar rules, and this results in failure in the competitive exams or in the campus recruitment or any given exam that they are aiming for. So in these sessions we will aim to just practice well enough. Secondly, I have observed many students learn languages in their regional language, but the sense of English in itself is different. So here we will try to keep ourselves to English only and understand the sense of it. I hope guys that you are able to understand and get what I am trying to say here. So let's start. Before we begin, let's first understand the common difference between the two vocabulary words of practice and practice. That is, we have two words Practice and Practise in British English that we are supposed to understand and learn. So let's understand that. So practice is a noun and practice is a verb. So what is a noun? Noun is a name of a person, place, thing or animal. But verb is an action, a word that demonstrates some action. So practice here refers to an act itself and not who is doing it. But Practise refers to an action or doing work. Let's take and understand this by an example. So it's common practice to check your spelling before submitting an assignment. This is a sentence. Now here the subject is, what is the common practice? So common practice here is a subject of the sentence and hence it becomes a noun. So practice is a noun. But again, in this other example, I will practice my spelling regularly. Here the practice tends to the practice of the spelling. So it's a verb. I hope guys that you have understood the difference between practice and practice. Now let's take our first example. So the first example states, the Supreme Court has sought a response of the center on a PIL seeking effective functioning of the human rights courts in the country to further the cause of according social justice. So this is the sentence that has been given to us. Let's understand the first part. The Supreme Court has sought. Now here sought means requested or called on. An example of sought can be, he sought help from the police. Now in this sentence he is requesting help from the police. I hope guys that you have understood the meaning of sought. Now a response of the center is been asked by the Supreme Court on a PIL. PIL here means public interest litigation. The full form of PIL is public interest litigation. Litigation means an legal action taken by somebody for something. Now that's a very interesting story about PIL. PIL, that is public interest litigation, were not there in independent India initially, but later on they were added. But later on, for public interest, they were included in the constitutional rights. So on a PIL seeking effective functioning of the human rights. Now a PIL is asking for the effective functioning of human rights courts in the country to further the cause of according social justice. That is to make justice available to the poor and the weaker sections of the country. Here according is used in a different context. Generally we use according with according to that is he stated this or he stated that. But here according is giving. So are you able to understand? If you use a dictionary, you will find multiple meanings to different words. But when you use them in a different sentence, it entirely changes the meaning of the sentence. I hope guys that you have understood this. Now, what is the error? Please pause this video and comment in the comment section below that what is the error in this sentence. Is it part A, part B, part C, part D or part E? So exactly, the error is in part A. Now let's understand what is the difference where we are using response. By two examples. As troubling as this thought is, equally troubling would be the response of the country so attacked. Now here the response of the country that is being attacked is talked about. And in the second sentence, An extended jazz piano solo drew the biggest response from the crowd. Generally, response of is not used. It's a very rare use of response with of, but response from is generally expected. And as well in the sentence, we are not asking response of the center, but we are asking the response from the center. That is, we are asked, they are the person who are responsible. They are the origin of the thing. They are able to do that. But when we use of, then that is their position. Response of means the position of the center, but we are asking, the Supreme Court is asking response from the center, that is their ability to respond to. Let's take example when we use of and when we use from. So the table is made of wood. The table is made of wood. That is, it is possession. And paper is made from wood. That is, the paper is made from wood. That is, the raw material that is used is, the origin is, the ability is that of wood is to make paper. I hope guys that you have understood the difference between the two prepositions used here. Now the next example. So here we have to replace of with from. Let's understand the second example. Pause this video and just read it and answer your options in the comment section below. Let's read the sentence first. A letter of credit is a guarantee issued by the importer's bank, that is, that it will honor payment up to certain amount of export bills to the bank of the exporter. Now, the letter of credit. This was very famous because of the Nirav Modi fiasco in 2018, I guess. So if somebody is not able to understand this, it's a financial instrument used by importers and exporters just for the sake of guarantee. Now the letter of credit. Now these are two terms, credit and debit. Credit is basically the ability of a customer to obtain goods or services before payment. But debit is when the amount is already with the purchaser and he has to pay against the goods and services when he is getting those. So that is debit and this is credit. Now a letter of credit is a guarantee issued by the importer's bank. Now who is the importer? The importer is the person who is buying goods or services with a customer, with a client from other country, and he intends to sell those in his country once he imports them. And an exporter is a person who exports those goods and services to the importer with the intent of selling. So by the importer's bank, that it will honor. Here the importer's bank gives a guarantee to the exporter that the importer will honor the amount of the export bills. This is the meaning of this sentence. Now where is the error? Yes, exactly, the error is in the part C. Here the payment up to a certain amount should be there, because it is a very fixed amount. In LOC, the banks give a very specific amount up to which they are extending their guarantee, above which they do not extend their guarantees. So it's a very particular certain amount, and hence we have to use up to a certain amount. Let's understand more about certain. So I can't say for certain, here the certainty is talked about, but I feel eyes on me. Certain items were missing, that is some items were missing, is the meaning of just certain. But when I use a certain, but at a certain point, you don't need any more and the technology is mature. That is at a particular point. So are you able to understand the difference between certain and a certain? I hope guys that you are understanding. So here we have to insert a with certain. Now let's see the last example for today's video. And if you have find out the right answer, please comment in the comment section below as well. Widows by far outnumber widowers. Now widows are the women who are left after the death of their husbands, their spouse, and they are not again remarried. And widowers are the people, are the men who are left after the death of their spouse and they have not married again. So basically widows are females and widowers are men. So widows by far outnumber widowers because studies show that women live longer than men and tend to marry men older than them. Now, if you have understood the sentence, widows are far outnumbered. That is, the number of widows is quite large as compared to widowers. And the reason is given that the study shows women live longer, that the life expectancy of women is quite higher as compared to men. And generally, women tend to marry somebody who is older to them. Now here the error is in part D, because instead of them it should be themselves, because here the widows are talking about themselves. They are not comparing it to somebody else. So it should be reflective pronoun here and not a simple pronoun. Some people choose friends who are different from them. Now some people, that is a bunch of people that we are referring to, choose friends who are different from them. Them is a point of reference here in this sentence. The sentence is absolutely right, but generally it is not used in this sense but in the second sense, that is some people choose friends who are different from themselves. That is, themselves is used. That is, people, if I have to choose a friend, then I will choose a friend who is different from me. I hope guys that you have understood the difference between a reflexive pronoun and a pronoun and its functioning in the sentence. It changes entirely the meaning of the sentence, and in this replace them with themselves and it will make the sentence correct. I hope guys that you have liked this video and understood everything. If you have any doubts, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. So please like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.